Oh my gosh. The internet. Oh my goodness. Everything's gone. Okay. Well, so when we start, we first thing finish the base, the box. So we know how to do the box now, right? So you know how to do the box, right? Okay. Sometimes we learn from the class, but after we done, while we didn't touch, we don't make another one, we forgot. Okay. We are human, we're forgetful. So we have to do, after we done this, best ways to check if you remember, we have to do our own sometime. You not necessary to use a ruler, but freehand to draw that to make sure you understand. So first thing we do is horizon line. The second thing we do, we find out the box center is, okay? Then we find out the angle of this each side. We'll find out what's the vanishing point. So make a vanishing point on the horizon line. Then we make sure this point will go to vanishing point. Same thing, the other side go to vanishing point. The top going to vanishing point to both sides. Then we create a box. That's fairly easy. Then after that, we create a sphere on the top. Okay. Now we talk about before my internet is done. So we talk about shadow. One shadow is called cast shadow. The shadow from light source hit the object, then cast the shadow on some surface. Called cast shadow. Okay. The other shadow is called cold shadow. Cold shadow. Okay. Cold shadow, sometimes instead the opposite side of the light is not a dark spot. But the sample over here is dark spot is the dark side is over here. But you can see the bottom of the object, the sphere, here is a bit lighter. Here's kind of gradually, this whole thing is like this, all the way getting dark and dark. But sometimes, in some case, instead the dark spot's right here. Sometimes the dark spot's right over here. Okay, sometimes the dark spot's right over here instead. But how we show the shadow? So we call cross hatching. Cross hatching means we use the cross line to show the darkness, the value. Okay, so for example, here we're going to create something really dark. So we can create like this. Right, we could create that. Then dark one over here, we create more line. Then go here. Right, then we can create maybe this way. Okay, so you can see the line from when we do cross hatching, this part getting darker. Then we can find another angle with from this way to this way to that way. Then we create maybe another angle, maybe this way. Okay. Then you find out this one really dark. Okay, then we create maybe this way. Okay, so by line, the way we cross each other, the more we cross, the darker they go. Okay, all right. So we're going to use the same method, okay, to create a shading over this sphere and the cube. The top of the cube has some shadow, like here, like this much. Okay. Then also we see the sphere here. Also can see some shadow cast on here. Same thing. If you see the photo reference, you find out this surface here, the cube, this side, they are dark, really dark, but this side is not same darkness, not even. The lower one has a little bit lighter. This part be lighter than the top. Okay, so we're going to do the 3D drawing from this turn. So we have to understand the shading, how we shade. Why this one's lighter? Do you know why? Because light, right, can reflect. So what happening? So the light hitting this area, they're bouncing to the surface. They're bouncing back to the surface. They're bouncing back. Because it's closer to the surface, this bright area, okay, you can see the shadow kind of like this. Then the other one's like this. Then the table, let me see, the table is somewhere here. The table somewhere here. Okay, so the shadow kind of like this part. Okay, then you can find out this part's kind of lighter than the top. Like I said, because light hitting here, they're bouncing so many places. So they're hitting this area a little bit. So instead the same darkness, then here is a little bit brighter. But we are going to try with a cross hatching today. Instead use either use the paper stamp. Okay, today we instead using paper stamp. Today every shading we use a line. Give you a little bit tougher. Okay, and are you doing this? And
Yeah.
are you going to eat cake?
Later, yeah.
Okay, so you guys have seen the birthday song to your brother?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So like I just talked to Sui, we are not going to use a paper stamp or fingers or paper towel or chamois. We're going to shade the surface of the sphere, means this ball shape, and also the cube, everything, the shading with cross hatching. However, cross hatching has not necessarily have to be straight line. Sometimes can be curved line. Okay, so you gradually adding it. So you from here, you can see the light coming down from here. Right, the light from here hit the surface. So here the highlight. Okay, so how we do that? Instead draw straight line, we can do the curved line. Be light. Okay, to a curved line. You can cross all the way like this. I don't know you guys can see that line. Let me see. How I'm going to show better. Okay, so all the lines are kind of light, like from here. So this part is kind of curved like this. Okay, because light hitting this top this area, so create like a vortex type shape. Okay, so we just create this line like this. Then we're going to cross with curved line as well. Okay, so first line, we just create this line all the way across. Not too hard. Okay, not too hard. Not like this. All the way. Okay, really light. Then after that, we're going to create a little bit angle. So we create maybe a little bit angle like this. Down a little bit, we start kind of do this one. Then same thing, the lines, I create a little bit curved like this. Okay, remember I mentioned about this area lighter than here. Because the light reflection, the light hit this surface here, the sphere surface. So here is a little bit brighter than this one. Actually, quite brighter than here. Okay. Then so we can keep building out the shading over here. So but just be careful when we do this area. Try not to make it the same because it's lighter. Okay. Take your time. Okay. Like I say, this time we don't use a paper stump, and we are not using anything, not even your finger. Try to wrap it. We try to use the cross-hatching technique to show the shadow. Sometimes it can frustrate for people doing that. Okay. Okay. In this case, like I said, most of the time, some the backgrounds a bit brighter. Sometimes have something like the object nearby. Then what cause here is brighter. But in this case, the reference we got, the background part don't have something closer to the object. So they won't reflect the light back to the surface. So this part is really dark today. So later we have some cases. We will see a lot the dark shadow, the cold shadow, the dark spot somewhere middle here. But today it's pretty much all close to this edge here. Okay. So we come building up. So create different angle. We're going to create darker here. Building up. Okay. Don't just force one stroke and showing all the differences. Okay, doesn't matter you go this way or go this way. That's what I'm saying angle. Okay, you'll find out this area actually pretty much kind of brighter. Okay, so not too dark on this part. So kind of get like here. Okay, then we keep building up. So we go this way. Okay, I use the pencil is the HB, it's number 2 pencil. Okay, number 2 pencil can be really dark, you press really hard. But this time I just want to use the cross hatching to create natural darkness instead just press really hard. Okay, just use different angle, keep overlap past each other to make it really dark. Okay, try to make a transition as smooth as you can. Okay, so I get like this by cross hatching. I get a sphere like that. You can use a 2B, then of course will get darker, but it's a HB effect. Okay, so we just want to kind of experiment to see the shading and the perspective thing to work together. Reinforce the illusion of a 3 dimension. Okay, after we done this, we create a shadow cast by the called cast shadow, cast on top of the cube, the top of this cube. The same thing you cross hatching. Okay, we can cross hatching. Then you can find out these edges, kind of soft edges. Okay, not really dark. You can see the close to the sphere, this area is really dark. But when they go out, because light keeps multiple bouncing, so get this the edge here not as hot as some place. Okay, not like here. Okay. So here the it kind of soft edge. Don't make it redefine the edges here. Kind of like that. Then two, when you're to the edge of the cube, this ring here, you'll have to be careful. Don't make it really sharp edges. So here a little bit brighter. So I make cross hatching here is a bit darker. But to the edge of the ring here, the corner of the box here, I'm kind of lighting out a little bit. So I make sure this edge here is kind of bright. Okay. So underneath the sphere a bit darker. Then kind of toward outside a bit kind of lighter. And then they have soft edges. Okay, so not really defined edges. But underneath the sphere is really dark. And also toward the back of the box here, it's really dark as well. Okay, cross hatching. Okay, I'll get this much. Okay, then I move on to shading the cube. Okay, let me see how you do, Sui. Okay. Yeah, keep going. You probably need to sharpen your pencil. Yeah, the sharp you get when you overlap is much smoother. Okay. You try to make it smooth. You have some part like here a bit darker and here a bit darker. Try to show the gradation from dark all the way getting lighter. Kind of don't show the block. Okay. How about enter? Enter nice shading. Good. But under the close to the cube, the top of the cube, here the light bouncing back. So here's not as dark as here. Same thing here. Okay. The left side bottom here, the shadow cast here, it's a little bit lighter, not too as dark as right here. Okay. All right, let me see. In myself. So you can see that. So I use a cross hatching, okay? But I try to use sphere, the curved line to do that. The more you do the cross hatching, the darker they go. Okay, so you can see here the lighter, the light bouncing up. Okay, now I'm going to do on this side, the right side of the cube. Same thing, cross hatching. And this part dark spot, this part really dark. Then towards down here getting lighter, but still kind of dark, but not as dark as the top here. Okay, because light bouncing back we talk about. So we're going to cross hatching. So just create diagonal line like this. Okay, use diagonal line cross each other. So first thing I do, like 45-degree to the right to bottom of the left. Then after that, cross hatching, go from here. Remember when you go, make sure this part, the top darker than the bottom here. So when you go down, well, watch out when we're passing this line here about middle, then we lighting up. Don't press really hard. Okay, so go here, cross. Okay. So, okay. So down the side too. Then the front here, the top actually get more light, but still can catch a little bit of the light. Okay, a little bit here, tiny bit, just really light. Okay, top. The bottom a little bit dimmer than the top. Okay, so you go to this way. a little bit closer, but still not press really hard. Okay, if you pay attention to the surface, you will find out they are not even. Okay, slightly top here, a little bit darker than the rest area, just slightly. You just squint your eye, you can see right top this here, little bit darker than the rest of part. Okay, so if you want, then you can go here, you can create a little bit of edge, can create a light. Okay, something here. The corner reflect the light. Okay. So here. That. Okay. Then the back, the shadow, the cast shadow of the cube. You can just darken a little bit. This is probably the really close dark to underneath the sphere, the how dark is. Okay, same thing cross hatching. Okay, and then we're done. Okay, for today. For some of the time we do this kind of exercise, instead we use white paper. Sometimes we use called halftone paper. Do you guys know what halftone paper? Do you know what halftone paper is? No? Okay, let me see. I can bring some halftone paper here. Okay, halftone paper, they print a little bit kind of brown or gray. The paper's like this. So when we apply this object on top, instead we shade, sometimes we use white charcoal or white pastel or white pencil. Now some shadow dark pop we use charcoal or pencil or pastel to create. Okay, not just have this is called 10 halftone paper. Tone 10. Okay, then some has gray tone. This gray is like a gray paper. So when you create sphere, automatically you have a background gray. Then use white to create a highlight. Okay, so down the road, maybe we'll use that. Do you guys have this paper? Angel, do you have this paper?
No.
Okay, so mine's like 80-pound 9x12. So down the road, maybe we can try that. Okay. This I don't know. Recently, this price go high. I think I bought this one like a $12 or $13. Now I don't know how much it is now, but I did went to some of the other price store. This is kind of getting expensive, but maybe not necessary. But same thing when we do the shading, we sometimes use this paper to do that. Then come out the result different. Okay, Well, I know kind of go over time, because we kind of starting late, and plus my internet kind of shut down, for a while, and lost my first section of the recording. So, okay, so I kind of make it up. I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you have homework, right? So do you have homework to write? Yes? Solo?
What?
Do you have homework?
No, I don't have school today or tomorrow.
Why?
Um, there's like a holiday or something.
Really? I didn't know the holiday.
Yeah,
What kind of holidays?
I don't know. Just a random holiday.
I don't know, but maybe I forgot. September? September have a holiday? What will it be? I don't know. Yeah, it's okay. All right. So, well, if you're interested in the future, maybe we can do on this. You will like it. Okay, so I did some work with this. So you can see I did some things like that. So instead use black shadow, we sometimes add white. And I did some like a house like this. Okay, because the halftones already create the median tone. So we don't do the median tone with the shading. We dark shadow and highlight, pretty much work on that. Okay, so you can draw people. See, draw people. You can draw, yeah, a lot of things. Okay, that's a lot of people. Okay. So you can do a lot of things, and I do like bird. Okay. So yeah, this paper kind of different way to do the shading. So will be safe, you do the medium tone. You just do dark shadow and a highlight. So it's kind of unique. Okay. So if you guys down the road say, well, yeah, well, let's try, then we maybe try to use this one. Okay, just let you know, but not right away. All right. Any question about today's drawing, the same drawing? Like how to create a 3D perspective. Now you know how to do it. Remember, first thing you do is horizon line. Okay, the first, just list down the first thing. First thing you need to do is, first you need to do horizon line. Where horizon line is from the object from here, then from here, these two lines, they meet. Okay, they meet. All this one's horizontal, this the vanishing point. The vanishing point, you cross horizontal way. Then you know the other vanishing point will be on the horizon line as well. So first you create horizon line. Second thing, you find out the object, this part. Okay, find the object at this corner. Then from this corner, you connect to both vanishing point. So corner of the object. That's the second one. Then third one is connect to the vanishing point. Okay, sometimes two, like this one, two, sometimes even three, but today we use two. Okay, then you connect to that, then you connect the rest of them. Once you create this, you connect that, you create this. Okay, sphere is really tricky. Sphere, you cannot find the vanishing point. Sphere, no vanishing point. But when we create shadow, sometimes we use the vanishing point to show the shadow is. Okay. So let me see what else. Then we talk about the cross hatching. Cross hatching. Okay. The more you cross, change the angle, then get darker they go. Okay. Then we talk about the fifth thing is talk about shadow. Shadow has two kinds. One is called cast shadow. One is called core shadow. Core shadows is the light create a shadow on the surface of the object. The other one is cast shadows. The shadow from light then cast on the surface, create a shadow. So once the surface on the object, once the surface, the shadow, the object being created by the light, then cast down on the surface. So that's pretty much today we talk about. Okay. So today we don't use anything the paper stamp or shami, this thing. We don't even use finger. So today we just use the line. So I always encourage you guys do that one more at home. Okay. Even though my class is over, but you're able to make sure you know you do your own one more time. Okay, to see what's happening. If you got stuck next week, then you can bring out, say, hey, Shane, what happening? How come it didn't work for me? Then I know what's wrong. Okay? Sui, you okay? So we pretty much done for tonight. Okay, all right. So one homework, I took it homework. Do a simple small one, the object like what we do today. Can you do your own one more time? Your own. Okay, see if you can create that. Because you are doing with me, so you know what to do. But after this class over, you try to do one to see if it works. Okay, Angel, can you hear me? Angel. If I go to EK. Okay, all right, the class is over. Good night, Sui. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. See you next week. Same time. Bye. Bye, Angel. Bye, Angel. Angel, are you there? Angel, class is over. Oh, how you eat cake. Okay, so class is over. Then we're going to